Hey up everyone, welcome back to the challenge. It's another cold one, about 4 degrees this morning. We're going to crack on with this. I'll turn you around. Just putting the insulation in this corner now. Insulate the rest of this, may as well get it all done and out the way. And the back. Then you know the dance, pack it down. Get a course of brick down, get a course of block down. Put the damps out for the trays. The trays out for the vents. And then I'm going to set up another profile on the other corner, run this siding in the entirety now, right up to 21 courses high on brick. And then I can pull on my block weight around this side at least and start getting some internal walls off. That won't be today, we're just going to concentrate on brick today. We're still waiting for me specials to come round for the bay, which is there. Which haven't landed yet. So I'm not going to build that section until I get the specials here. Driver keeps saying he can't get to them, but I don't know what that means. It must mean I've got to handball them out, but we'll see. We're going to get going with this now. Happy days. Right, for you apprentices out there, we've just come across one. I've just had our Jack running on some block working on a line. I asked him to run it in and I told him which way to go from. However, if you don't know why we're going from one end and no one explains to you, then you'll never know. So this is what we're on about. Set up a block on this end. That end, obviously, I know is a dead man, just a dead man line, because I know what's going on, but obviously Jack doesn't know what's going on. So I asked him pull in. The reason why you pull from the reason why you pull from the corner out that way is because you don't have your bond yet. So you go from your corner out that way, and then whatever cut you end up with will end up with on the end of the wall. Now Jack's done this and run it from that way off the dead man. Now the cut is in this bit of the wall. We'll put it in because it's going to be under a window, so it won't hurt too much. But in future, you always go from your corner and pull out if you haven't already got it established with a tape measure, or you've already gauged out your bond dry, or whatever you're going to do. But now he knows that always work from a corner. That's for you apprentices out there, because you've experienced bricklayers, already know the score. But these lads, unless you tell them why, you're not going to know. So that's his first lesson of the day: run from the corners. Jack, I asked him to pack up my line and he went to pick up the wrong end. And what I mean by the wrong end is how I wrap the lines, and most people do this. This is for you apprentices again. Put all your line onto one side of a pin as far as it goes. You can always wrap it up in the figure of 8 if you can do it. But if I leave this out and somebody else wraps it up and they wrap a whole load around that, and I end up with 2 balls on 2 pins, and the line somehow gets cut or frayed or snaps, then I've lost all the line that's on this other side. But if it snaps and I've only got it there, I've only lost that much instead of that much plus that. Because you can't tie knots in your lines. You can do it, but it's no good, because every time you put a brick near that knot, it'll kick your line out. So for you apprentices out there, make sure you always put as much line as you can onto one pin and leave the other one free like that. And then when your line does snap, which it will, because you lads always hit your line, you're not going to waste so much line, and it's a time saver. That's it. Well, let's get ready to put these meter box lintels on. Okay. Well, we got most of that side done anyway. I haven't shown you because I've come back home a little bit early today. My cutter, I told you there's a problem with the battery. Now, to me, that looks like once upon a time it's been forced in and shoved down. I reckon that's what's gone wrong with the battery. Somebody has tried to force it in and not in the right slot, and then just dug it down and pressed it in. I think it's knackered the battery, so there's 200 quid up in smoke, isn't it? I ain't saying it was me, because I wouldn't force it down if it was like that. So somebody who has got heavy hands has forced it in, and that's why it's been playing up for since before I went away. Anyway, that's going to need replacing. As soon as I've made this video, I've got some other stuff to do, but I might need to go and get a new battery because I do need that saw. But I took my steel saw today. Oh my god, it's heavy compared with that thing. You can't believe it. Anyway, I'm chopping up some firewood now. Get the fire on. Both kids are bad as they always are. When one's bad, the next one gets bad. Fantastic. Just get that fire rip roaring. If any of you have picked up any tips today or anything and you're going to use it, fair play, because that's what it's all about. Sharing bits of knowledge and all that kind of stuff. What else was I going to say? Oh, last night's video, or the last video I put on, I had a couple of comments, and one of them was who would want to be a bricklayer or whatever, or why would anyone be a bricklayer? People are bricklayers like myself. When you're a young lad, who knows what you want to do? Nobody knows what they want to do now. God, most kids, they've got no clue unless they want to be a professional footballer, which is like winning the lottery, and most parents don't seem to understand that. Then none of them want to do anything. So when I was in school, I wanted to be a bricklayer. That's what I wanted to be. I knew it. Because my parents said, get a trade, get a trade, get a trade. So in the line in the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, get a trade. Which one did I pick? Bricklaying. Not because I was bad in school either. However, most people who end up on the job and on sites and whatever, you know, you get a lot of ex-criminals. You get a lot of, they can't do office work, they can't do this, they can't do that because they're not made for that lifestyle. So when you say who would be a bricklayer, it's suited to plenty of people, and the bricklayers who are quite smart, they're the ones who end up making the big money. And then obviously you get the rob dogs and all that lot and everybody else, but you do get quite a lot of people who make good money in bricklaying, and they're good at it. And I would not like to be sat in an office when it's 25 degrees outside in the summer. I want to be outside enjoying myself. So it's up to you. You take the rough with the smooth. It's a cutthroat business. It's one of them where if you're not tough enough, you won't make it anyway. And it does, like a lot of the time, it shows the men from the boys, and I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. It's like basically if you're wrapped in cotton wool, you ain't gonna make it in the building game. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep it nice and easy, and we'll see you in the next one.